Hey everyone, so this is going to be my last recruiting video until signing day. I thought about trying to put one out on Tuesday, but I normally can't make these until normally later in the evening. So I felt like if I gave you guys a video late Tuesday evening, then you'd probably be watching it as signing day was going on, which, wouldn't be nearly as fun. I'm sure there's going to be live streams and stuff like that you guys are going to watch of signing day. So this is my last recruiting video of the 2025 class until signing day or early signing day, which is this Wednesday. You'll most likely be expecting to see the Ohio State football account tweeting out. Now, the letter of intent is not the same thing that it was last year. Last year, the Ohio State social media accounts kind of put out like a graphic for each player. You might see the players say like I'm Buckeye now, or you might see the account for Ohio State put out some stuff. But if you don't see somebody early in the morning, don't fret. Like Jake Cook is not signing until 2:15 on Wednesday. So if you don't see Jake Cook right away, like don't fret, don't be concerned at all. Some of these guys are they're scheduling stuff out so that way their family can be there and friends in their community can be there as well. So it's just kind of different for everybody. But the special thing about Wednesday is that I am going to be doing either a live stream or a video. I haven't decided yet. I need to talk to him on what he wants to do. But I'm going to do something with Juck on Bucks over from his channel. We're going to do kind of like a signing day recap where we kind of give our thoughts with how things go, what surprised us, what didn't surprise us, those kind of things. So that'll be a fun video that we'll put out Wednesday night. In this video, I want to talk about 30 possible 2025 recruits, and I want to give each of them a percentage chance that I think Ohio State has to get them. Now, a lot of guys who are committed right now are like 75% and above. So it's one of those situations where we're going to kind of rifle through some of these, but I have some players who are currently committed and those who are not currently committed that are 75% and below. And I want to talk about them a little bit more. So I have 30 recruits here. We'll talk about. I'll make sure I mention every single name. So my guys that I have right now are 100% for sure going to be signing with Ohio State. I really don't have any doubt that they're going to be Buckeyes. I have 16 of them. So my top 16 here are Tavien St Clair, Devin Sanchez, Jake Cook, Carter Lowe, Bodpegn Miller, Cody Haddad, Eli Lee, Brody Lennon. Sorry, guys. My computer did something weird there for a second. Jordyn Woods, Isaiah West, Bo Jackson, Riley Pettijohn, Faheem Delane, Deshaun Stewart, Nate Roberts, and Trajan Odom. So those are like my locks for sure. They're going to sign with Ohio State. My next 5, it looks like, are guys that we give like a 90% chance. Like I would be surprised if they didn't sign with Ohio State, but I'm not going to say like if they didn't, I'm not going to be like, oh well. Maybe should have seen that coming or something like that there. But 90% still very good. I expect all of these guys to sign with Ohio State. Quincy Porter, Phillip Bell, Zion Ziggy Grady, Maxwell Roy, Desi Jones. A lot of these guys are just guys that didn't put out the the emoji or a graphic. I mean, Phillip Bell did put out the Buckeye emoji, so maybe I should move him in the 100%. Who knows? But these guys, if you watch my last video where guys were backing Ryan Day and stuff like that, these were guys that didn't really put out that kind of stuff. And then my 75% category, I have Jayvon McFadden and Jarquez Carter. I feel better about Jarquez Carter after the visit this weekend. From all indications, it sounds like he really enjoyed the visit, really solidified things with him in Ohio State. So we can expect him to sign with Ohio State. However, the teams in Florida, Miami, like they are looking at him, and who knows, in the next 48 hours they could really offer him something nice, and he could go there. But I do expect him to be with Ohio State. Jayvon McFadden, he really seemed to enjoy his visit as well, really solidified things there. However, you just never know with Colorado. Jordan Seaton is out there. He's good buddies with him. And there's been speculation that he might be considering Colorado and stuff like that. I think Jayvon McFadden knows Ohio State is the best place for him. So I don't think he's going anywhere, but I did give it a 75% chance just because you never know. All right, 60%. I have Aiden West. He is the current Michigan State commit. the Michigan State coach that he would be under. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. Their cornerbacks coach. He is actually leaving Michigan State to be the secondary coach at UCLA. And I do not believe Aiden West is going to follow him out there. And Ohio State still seems to be pursuing Aiden West pretty much. So I think Aiden West is probably going to be your third guy in that cornerback class. There's another name at the cornerbacks. We'll talk about him here in a minute. But I think Aiden West is most likely your third guy in that cornerback class. So I think he wants to go to Ohio State. So that's why I have him over 50%. But I just don't know what's going to happen with the other guy for sure. And I still think Ohio State has a chance with the other guy. So it's one of those situations where it's like, does Ohio State take him if they have a third cornerback somewhere else? I don't think so, but I think he wants to be a Buckeye, and I think that Ohio State does want him in the class because they see potential and ability out of him. And then the other one is TJ Alford. TJ was another one that I felt like the visit really was good for him. He enjoyed the visit. He had a good time. I think that TJ Alford is one of those kids that really, really, really wants to go to Ohio State. He really wants to be coached by James Laurinaitis. Like, that is what he wants. The problem is there's a lot more money and a lot more family support for Miami. And I mean, not all family. Like, I think it's mostly his dad. That's what I've heard. Anyway, so that's one of those situations you can't really discount that. You can't say like it doesn't matter because who knows, here in the next 48 hours we could see something different happen. Or he could just say, I don't even want to sign right now. I don't think that's going to happen. But he could say, I'll wait to sign until February or whatever else. So we'll see what happens for sure with TJ Alford, but I feel better about it. I kind of had him going into the visit. I had him about 50%, and I decided that if I felt like the visit went well, I'd bump him up to 60. If I didn't feel like the visit really did anything for him, I was going to bump him down to 40. So I felt good about the visit, bumped him up to 60%. 50-50 right now. My only one in that is David Sanders. I know I did a video where I said you can expect David Sanders to be in the class, and I've backed off that a little bit more here recently just because we haven't heard a whole lot that's going on, and it's hard to feel confident about something when you don't hear a lot about what is going on. Now, if you go read Tennessee sites, they're going to say they got him, he's coming to Tennessee. Maybe. I mean, I think you have to be 50-50 there. Like, I think they are mostly interpreting that like, oh, he went on this visit and nothing's happened. But as I said before, like David Sanders is going to be one of those guys that decides on signing day. So he's not going to come out with a graphic of like locked in, not going anywhere. He's not going to flip to Ohio State tomorrow. At least I don't think he is, or anything like that. Like, this is one that's going to be on signing day. And I think when a kid takes a visit 2 weeks before signing day, and it just so happens to be the place that finished second place before, like, I think you gotta give that team credit that they have a chance of getting him. So right now I'm 50-50. I'd give the slight lean to Tennessee because, again, like I said, you just don't know. You haven't heard anything from him. We haven't really heard anything. And then Tom Loy he did put out there he believes David Sanders will go to Tennessee, but again, that's probably just because you haven't really heard anything. So we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting situation, but I still think Ohio State has a chance with David Sanders. I'm not doing 50-50 just to make people feel better, like make myself not look bad or something like that. Like, still think Ohio State has a chance with him. We'll see if he goes to Ohio State or Tennessee. My next one, 30%. I have Naeem offered. He is currently commit to Ohio State. He is the lowest percentage of any commit, and I truly believe right now it's Auburn kind of in the lead. I think Oregon is pushing quite a bit as well, and I think Ohio State is just kind of sitting there like, look, you know what we're offering you. You know what we can bring you. Like, if you want to get cute and play games with Auburn and, look for more money from Oregon, go for it. But our NIL offer is our NIL offer, and you love it here. You love Tim Walton. And that's the other part of it too, is like, he had a really good visit from everything we saw. Like, people saw that, or he saw everything Ohio State once again, and it definitely helped things. So I do think Ohio State is very much still in this race. When I go 30% with them, I'm not saying like, oh, Ohio State's last or something like that. I just think it's a very close race right now between Auburn, Oregon, and Ohio State. And all three schools are kind of taking like different approaches right now with how they're doing this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I do think he will probably go to Auburn or Oregon. I'm not picking Ohio State for him to go there, but I would not be surprised if he picked Ohio State. So my next one is 25% Epi Citinelli. I hope I'm saying that right. He is the UCLA commit, the edge rusher who is considering Ohio State. He's very, very talented, guys. If you haven't seen his huddle tape, go check out his huddle tape. He's very good. But he is somebody that I think the visit went well. You could see Ohio State possibly bringing him in, but at the same time, I think you got into this recruitment too late. I think Ohio State is just going to make a really, really strong push at Epi, most likely tomorrow, leading up to it. Like I've said a few things about schools kind of in the last 48 hours, the last 30 hours or whatever it is, kind of going after a kid. I think this is the kid that Ohio State is doing that for right now. I do think that Ohio State wants him. They only have one edge rusher committed right now, with the other guys moving on, and Zahir Mathis and London Merritt. And so you only have one edge rusher right now, Zion Ziggy-Grady, who is most likely, like I said, I have him at 90% right now, most likely going to be in the class. Very likely he's going to be in the class. And so I think you need another one there. But at the same time, I also don't think Ohio State is completely against the idea of going to get a guy off the edge in the transfer portal. The transfer portal has been known for having some edge players in it. We'll see who enters into the transfer portal, but I mean, they're talking like this is going to be one of the largest transfer portals we've ever seen. Now, they do say that every single time. So, do I think a Dylan Stewart is hopping into the portal? Do I think Mateo Uyunglele is dropping in the portal? Like, no, I don't think that will happen, but if it did happen, I wouldn't be shocked by it. And I think that if that did happen, Ohio State would take their shot and see if they could go get him. So we'll see what happens there. But I think Ohio State, I think they want Epi, but at the same time, I think Ohio State is much more they are very much comfortable with going to the transfer portal and finding an edge player, just because those guys are normally there and they can find him. And then my last two, number 29 and number 30, I have both of them at 10%. I think their names are worth mentioning, but I don't think it's going to happen for Ohio State. Ohio State might check in tomorrow and try to make another final push if it's received well, but I don't think it will be. And I think these guys are moving on to somewhere else. Number 29, Jakeem Stewart, and number 30, Damola Ajitahoon, the offensive tackle who is currently committed to Georgia Tech. Demila could surprise me. We'll see. There have been people that have been very pro Demila Ajitahoon in this whole situation. So we'll see what happens there. I don't see it. I've not heard the buzz. I've not seen the interaction that you normally want to see somebody have a major flip opportunity or anything like that. And I think it's hard for Justin Frye to recruit right now, because I don't think Justin Frye is going to be at Ohio State next year. I think that Justin Frye is most likely going to be moving on to be a head coach someplace, or he's going to find himself some other kind of job someplace else. He's right now in the running for the Ball State job. I don't know if he's been contacted by them or anything like that, but there's a lot of buzz that he's being considered for that. So we'll see. Obviously, you don't want Justin Frye fielding calls for Ball State right now, but this is also the time of year where teams are moving on from their coaches and they want to bring somebody else in, especially for the transfer portal. So we'll see what happens there. But at the end of the day, Muncie is very close. Muncie is where Ball State is. Muncie is very close where Justin Frye was born and grew up. Well, I don't know if he was born there, where he grew up in Indiana. So we'll see what happens there. But I think those names are worth considering, but probably won't happen. So let me know what you guys think. Are there any names that you would add to the list? Anybody that you think would be better for Ohio State? Let me know. And then if you want me and Juck to go live instead of doing a video, let me know as well. We'll probably do a video, just because I don't think Juck wants to, go live for an hour and go through all that stuff. But we'll see. I don't know what Juck wants. Maybe Juck does want to go live. So we'll see. I'll talk to him, guys, and then we'll see you on signing day at the end that night. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a good one.